Oh, don't trample me, don't trample me! Ugh! I made it worse, I made it worse. This massive park in Jurassic World Evolution 2 was built using only Jurassic Park buildings and decorations. And I'm excited to take you on a huge tour and show you all the details to get you inspired for your own builds. And of course our tour starts at the very beginning at the park entrance, and throughout this tour you'll be seeing this map reappear so you know exactly where we are inside this massive park. Hello everyone and welcome to the park, and right away the first thing that greets us is this spectacular view of a mixed herbivore habitat, spared no expense. Yahoo! And as you can see, there's a tour track going through there. We of course will be taking that tour and many others during this walkabout through the park. When you gotta go, and you gotta go right there, in the void. And after that, you have to go through the visitor center to get into the park. So in the visitor center, you know, you'd get your park map and maybe a little safety procedure, you know, stop, drop and roll, that sort of thing. So we head into the visitor center, and through the magic of editing, we come out the other side. And what greets us as we head into the park is the classic Jurassic Park gate. And of course, the only decorations and buildings in this entire park are from the Jurassic Park building set. But what I hope what this tour will show you is that even with that limitation, you can still build a beautiful, detailed park. And speaking of beautiful, right away we have this view of the visitor center. I just love using this building. A little bit of decorative water out in front. And we have a plaza with our first amenities. And we have an aviary in the distance. And also we have another opportunity to look out into the distance. We see the herbivore habitat, we see the viewing tower like on the hill, on the mountain. Very far away, we will be going there. We will be going everywhere. This is gonna be a long, long tour. So the first direction that we're gonna go in is right here. We have the T-Rex and Alamo skeletons. A little seating section. We use these wall pieces a lot throughout the park to create like a little bit more of a cozy feeling. And in this habitat, honestly, it's been so long, I don't quite remember. I think Dilophosaurus and Spinosaurus, but we're gonna find out together. This park was built over the course of many live streams, over the course of many weeks, months even. So honestly, I'm just excited and kind of curious to be experiencing it with you guys. Let's see what's in here. Something small is flying around. That is indeed Dilophosaurus. Alright, do we have some? Yeah, there you go. The little fluffy tails. Our prehistoric raccoons. Or red pandas. Look at them. So the aviary is also just stuffed with stuff like the log, the incomparable log, but even a fountain in there that we are pretending that they are drinking from. Exiting the aviary, we're gonna go in that direction later. We're first gonna backtrack just a little bit, so I'm gonna speed it along as we walk back up this hill. And we're gonna take this turn over here just to orient yourself. I also put the park map in the corner, but there's the visitor center right there. So if we walk along here, it takes us by the Dilophosaurus habitat. Don't worry, we've taken every sort of precaution, including entirely open fencing that they can just spit through. But here we have the viewing gallery that looks into the habitat. No luck here, but perhaps we can see them from the viewing dome. Alright, let's... Oh, I hear them. Ah, there they are, there they are. Well, one of them at least. I promise you, there are more in here. We will have dinosaurs on our dinosaur tour. In this little closed off section, which I really like doing by the way, you can see that I added these benches. Now this part of the park was built long before benches were added to the game, but that's a little tip from me. If you are working on a park that predates any of the recent updates, go back to the parts of the park that you had already completed and improve them with the new stuff that we have. I want to take a little detour over here and show you the park Jeep. parked jeeps, the parked jeeps that we're using as decoration. I've used many parked jeeps throughout this park. So every time I load into the save file, I get like 20 notifications of a jeep unable to reach the station, unable to reach their destination. That's a bit of a hassle, but I think it's worth it in the end. And now we're just walking around the Dilophosaurus habitat. You see the viewing dome over there. And we're gonna head towards our first tour. And again, it is access through this separate area. Again, I just really like doing that, creating these cozy little guest sections. We have Mr. DNA greeting us, not at all concerning that he just wants a drop of your blood. We're gonna walk around him and we're gonna enter this section. It's gonna have a nice overview, the fountain, of course. Uncustomized buildings, I'm sorry about that. You know that. That is like my kryptonite, customizing the buildings. Before we hop into the tour, I'm gonna first show you this view. Again, added some benches afterwards. It's a bit of a bland view. It's just a big lake. We do see a tiny edge of an enclosure over there. The reason I had to do this is because honestly, frame rates were going down. With the way I built parks, the amount of detail I put in, filling an entire square map just really isn't realistic. Especially when I still want, you know, to be able to do a tour with decent frames. So, yeah, we just created a nice overlook with, so we just created a little lake overview. I'm gonna switch the camera so we can see a little bit better. So, we are in our first habitat. I see Dryosaurus. I think Triceratops is in here as well. But again, I don't quite remember. It's been so long. So, the tour track just takes us right by the edge here. Maybe a little too close for comfort. But again, we have this lovely view of just, you know, the surrounding environment. We see the Tarbosaurus walking through the lake. We're gonna head there very soon. I love doing that, creating like interesting viewpoints from the tour. If we go right to this edge, a little further, we can even get a glimpse into the T-Rex habitat down below. Oh, if I don't crash into a rock. I don't see the T-Rexes right now. We will soon, of course. So we're just gonna follow this track, but we're gonna be a bit speedy about it. There you go. That's one big pile of shit. And a big herd of Triceratops as well. I'm actually gonna go... Ooh, I'm gonna try to sneak around them. Yep, there you go. And we're gonna go up, say hello to the Dryosaurus. And I've created levels within this enclosure, so again you have this, you know, more expansive view, another opportunity to look out into the world. Oh, our little Dryosaurus friend is kind of guiding us along. I always forget how large the Dryosaurus actually is. It's like, it like startles me every single time, honestly. There's more of the buddies. Oh. Oh, look at this sleepy trike and these gals. Hi, ladies. What's up? Don't mind me. Okay, so we're gonna go through this tour gate and we're gonna go into the adjoining habitat. There's another Ceratopsian in here. Nasutoceratops? I can't quite say. No, that's Cyanoceratops that we have in here. And more, you know, more poo. Oh, I also see Stiggy Moloch walking around. Lovely. Hold on, give me quickly. Oh, yeah, get a bit of the real experience here. The really dangerous experience. Okay, so what this tour actually does is it takes us to a remote guest section that is only accessible via this tour. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna go into the void. Okay, so this is our remote little guest section. I really hate myself for not taking the time to customize the buildings. But we are greeted by just, you know, quite a lovely combination of decorations. And this is how you can see how you can, you know, use the same decorations over and over, but give a little bit of variety. Just, you know, once in a while, chuck a fountain in front of the rock plinth. That's cool. So, what we have over here is a viewing opportunity. Oh, this might be a surprise. Where is this gonna take me? Oh, yeah, we're inside one of the log viewing galleries. Oh, there's the Spinosaurus. Nice, lovely. And if we flip it around, so right now we're looking into like this swampy habitat, but if we flip it, we're looking into the redwood habitat, and there we can just barely see the T-Rexes. We're gonna get more opportunities to see them, fret not. But yeah, this is actually down below from the guest area. I hope that the map in the corner of your screen will make everything clear about where we are at any given time. Alright, so if we exit the building and we go over here, we get a bit of an overlook of where we were. So again, I love doing stuff like this, you know, creating these sorts of plazas with a bit of a view. And, oh, we might just not be able to see them. Oh, I just see the T-Rex. They're quite well hidden because I put a lot of trees around them. But as you can see, the zipline flies right over top, so we will be able to see them like that. There are 3 log viewing galleries separating the redwood habitat from the swamp habitat. So that's exactly what we're going to be exploring. Actually, what I first want to do is go into one of the other viewing logs. So that's this entry point. There, so one side the swamp, the other side the redwood. I mean, yeah, technically you see them. Even though it's not the best view, it does look very immersive, I gotta say. Lovely. We love a good log. The log is good. And there's also velociraptors in this habitat, and they are small enough to traverse under the logs, so they can go into either habitat as they please. I quite like the look of this. Alright, so we're back up top again. We have another T-Rex skeleton. Obviously, I use this a lot throughout the park. Yeah, we are very limited in the stuff that we have, but at the end of the day, I think that chucking them all together still creates nice little tableaus. So what we're gonna do now is do something very unsafe. So we're gonna ride the zip line. There, so you can see right ahead of us. Oh, we can see the Spinosaurus. But you see the logs with the roof window, the skylight, and we're just gonna be flying over them. There you go. So that's kind of cool. You can really see the distinction between the 2 habitats. And we're gonna reach another remote guest section with some extravagant decorative pieces on the plaza. Alright, so here you go. That's the zipline that we just exited. This is another... there you go. This is the 3rd log. No Rexes again. Well, just up top there. So this guest section is completely isolated. It's only reachable via that zipline right there and a helicopter tour. So really what I did is I added a helicopter entry point here and a helicopter entry point in the main part of the park, and we're just pretending that the helicopters shuttle people back and forth, or, you know, they can obviously also get here with the zipline. You can see the more modern visitor center up on the hill, and what we have viewable through, that's a lot of restrooms, what we have through these viewing things is a desert habitat, there. And the other side is like tropical. So we did this same thing, you know, one was swamp and the other redwood, and here we have desert and tropical, which I thought was pretty cool because, you know, you gotta imagine we have to switch between cameras, but realistically, you know, it's literally the difference between looking left and looking right to see like these entirely different biomes, which I thought was pretty cool and also just fun to build. There's viewing galleries up top where we're also going to be going. Let's try one of the other ones, see if we get a bit more luck. Actually see a dinosaur. Oh, there are the Carnos. And on the other side, I don't remember, maybe Chungkingosaurus? They're being very shy. It's a little ominous, not gonna lie.
Fairly alarmed here.
Let's try the 3rd one. 3rd time's a charm. Yeah. So now we have a nice view of the Carnotaurus with their oasis amidst the desert. There's another desert habitat behind that, but we've hidden that with a dune, so it just feels a little bit more... You know, you can't see the end of the enclosure. So it feels like they have much more space than Unfortunately, they actually have. I love the footprints that they leave behind in the sand. That looks so cool. The other side, still no luck. What is in here? Why don't I remember what's in here? Do I see something? No, I see a log. As beautiful as that log is, that's not what we ask people to pay for. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see from the viewing galleries up top. Alright, so that will be in that direction, but first we have to go this way. You can see that we have, you know, these circular design things. I went maybe a little overboard, but we had such a large plaza here to fill in. I also did a little bit with, you know, putting a fountain up on some elevation. It's a bit extravagant. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Let me know in a comment down below if you have any feelings about it, negative, positive, or somewhere in between. Yeah, let me know. I was just trying to do some different things. I think this is a viewing dome in the other desert habitat. It is indeed. Oh, this is, yeah, the Kentrosaurus, and there might be something else in here. It's so funny, I just legitimately don't remember. I do really like the look of this habitat. Obviously, the green, lush mountains in the background break the illusion a little bit, as do the Carnos cresting the hill. But other than that, like, the design of the habitat is actually pretty nice. Where are all my dinosaurs? Well, we have Pierce over there. There's way more in this habitat, though. We use the other Kentros as well. And another viewing opportunity that we have is this tower up here. A little bit of elevation, you know, to shake things up. If we head in here, okay, let's see. That's Pierce. Did they escape again? Because these guys had a tendency to phase through the walls. No, you can just see them in the on the side right there. And the Carnos. I don't like these viewing towers. That's one, like, big downside, I think, about the Jurassic Park only setting. The view from those towers, I don't like, with that mesh in your face. But other than that, yeah, this park build wasn't that much of a struggle, honestly, in spite of the limitations. Oh, this game is still so beautiful, man. I made a little box here, and we put the Spinosaurus skull. I was gonna put the Spinosaurus skeleton, but that's actually not available in this era. So we just went with the skeleton. Sort of like a mini museum, little exhibit. And here we have Hammond looking down on us. Alright, so this should look into the Spino habitat, and I hear them. Yeah! That's lemon, and that's lime. I do remember that. Yeah, and there you have the logs. I still... Oh, yeah, no, there you go. We have one raptor in the long grass. JP3 raptor. I lost it. That's scary. Wait, what? It legitimately disappeared. Oh, that's actually kind of scary.
Ellen. Where?
Damn.
It probably just lay down or something. Oh, we have the Rex. Hold on. Cheating. Let's call it movie magic. There, movie magic. You know, I gotta give the people what they want, and what they want is dinosaurs. Can't blame you, can't blame you. Another raptor, being a bit skittish about the T-Rex. Yeah, but that's cool though. Another raptor over there. The raptor's like, nope. Yeah, I think that's cool. Like, the two entirely different perspectives from essentially one building. Like, the way the camera's locked, it doesn't really, you know, have the same effect, but it's pretty good. Anyway, I'm just gonna drop us back here. So there's our little box. There's our Hammonds. Our little box and our little Hammonds. And then we have more amenities down here, and at the very end of that, we have another viewing opportunity. This will be the Spino habitat again. Plenty of viewing opportunities, that's for sure. What's the rating of this park? Oh, it's closed. Right, I can't see the rating when it's closed. But really, I have to tour these parks closed because it makes a really big difference in how the game runs. It's a combination of the guest particle effect, which requires apparently quite a bit of computing power. But I also think it's largely the calculations that the game has to run to establish your rating. You know, it has to calculate dinosaur visibility, the appeal of the dinosaurs, it has to calculate your amenities, the appeal of the amenities, all of that. I think that that's actually where the majority of the computing power goes, that sort of takes away from your frame rates. So we're gonna head towards the like more modern viewing center, visitor center. I don't actually know if they call this building something else, but I like putting it up on a hill there, so we can go towards that, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a little bit of haste. We're gonna go up by like lining these like steeper paths with these planters because they create like this staggered effect. Sort of creates the illusion that we have a bit of a staircase going on, I guess. Let's head over here first. So these viewing galleries look at the T-Rex habitat. No such luck. Let's check this one out. And no luck yet again. We do see the guest section up there. Whoa, something is close. Let's quickly hop into this viewing gallery. Ah, there are the Tarbos. So yeah, we're gonna take this tour through this habitat. This is the beach habitat that we saw way earlier when we saw the Tarbo walking through the water. I'm misspeaking a lot. It's the excitement. Okay, so that tour is actually where we're gonna go. So we're gonna walk back along here. This is the visitor center. Added some tables and chairs in front of it, some extra flags, you know, sprucing it up a bit. The DNA helix fountain. I think that looks pretty neat. And this overlooks our guest section down below. Again, I like doing that. I like creating differences in elevation, not just within a habitat, but within a park, within a guest area. I think it really helps. So this is the second arrival point. Again, this is sort of like our transportation between this guest section and the main part of the park that we will be returning to. Now, here we go. Will our mystery dinosaur be revealed to us? Oh, yeah, Chungkingosaurus. There they are, sleeping. The little buggers. They're like, nah, we ain't putting up a performance for you. But at least they're still in here. At least they didn't escape. That's you know, quite a comforting thought, honestly, considering where we are and what we're up to. Okay, so this is the tour. Here you go. So that's the helicopter that's going to take us back to the main park shortly. I'm going to change this camera perspective just so we have more of a perspective. And in here we have Concavinator having a little nap. And of course, as we saw earlier, the Tarbosaurus is in here. So we transitioned from like this tropical area into a more beachy area with palm trees. That's the viewing gallery where we just were. Tarbos are going for a little bit of a foot bath. We can go up here. And then from here, oh, yes. No, don't walk away. yes. No. But we have another viewing opportunity into the Rex habitat. I think that's pretty good. That's like a nice little surprise. You know, you hop into this tour thinking, oh, this is the Tarbo and Concavinator tour. And then it's like, surprise, you might actually also see the appearance of the T-Rex. I think that's pretty nice. We're creating moments here. We're creating memories. We're giving the people what they paid for. And that will be the tour up top that goes through the Triceratops and Brachiosaurus habitat. So now we go back down to the beach. We have one of the Tarbos in the water. And the other one, let's head up to that one. Hello. say what you want about the Tarbosaurus, like, design, the model, that's very polarizing, but it has good skins, and nobody can take that away from it. Oh, I'm just casually causing crashes. Casually causing crashes. There you go. Alright, so that's this habitat. Let's quickly go back. Ooh, Concavinator. You know, it's nice to see one, you know, conscious. And I'm causing another crash. It's what I do. Yeah. Hold on, let's get the— oh boy! The immersive experience, I was gonna say. Oh. I always feel like somebody's watching me. That's cool. I would be terrified sitting in this car. Terrified. That's nice though. Concavinator, also great skins. Oh, a social is happening right in front of our eyeballs. Oh, yeah, oh, the social is involving us. We're very social right now. That's a good social. Well done, Frontier. Well done. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go back. Oh, casually flipping the car. Okay. Now we're gonna go back. Look, this is all part of the plan, okay? Consider these vehicle tours more like a roller coaster experience. And we just did like a half barrel roll, you know? That's what we did. Okay. All nonsense aside, I'm trying to sell it to you. I'm trying to upsell this experience. So at this point, you know, we would exit the building and we would hop on over and get into the helicopter. And the helicopter is going to take us back to the main part of the park. So, you know, just imagine helicopter sounds. That's the train. Here's the entry point right there. And we're going to land right here. So this is where we're going to get dropped off. Bam. Wow. Wall. And now we've got to make our way through the queue, which of course the queue is for when you actually try to enter the helicopter. I would imagine that a bit of— oh god, sorry, I hit the mouse. A bit of a line, a bit of a queue would form, as there's limited seating in just a singular helicopter, and plenty of people would be trying to go from one part to the next. But we sort of have priority. Oh, beautiful. So there you go, another habitat, the Parasaurolophus. What we're actually quickly gonna do is we're gonna go back along the Dilophosaurus habitat, because we're gonna go take the tour that goes through this. Oh boy, one of the Dilophosaurus has gotten into the Parasaurolophus habitat. Don't be alarmed, but this is a problem. So yeah, let's go through here. And I'm just speeding this up because, you know, we've been here, we've done that. And I'm gonna take you to the next tour. Now, I do always plan out these directions, like the, yeah, where we go when for these visits. But, you know, a perfect isn't always a perfect loop, so sometimes you have to double back just a little bit, but just a little bit. So here we have this guest section, and it has 2 entry points. That's the Dilo habitat right there. -1 Dilophosaurus. We can also enter this guest section through this other entry. Fountains, T-Rex, skeleton. We have a lot of those. We just had those lying around. Gates, and then behind that is quite a substantial tour. So that's what we're gonna do next. So we're actually starting the tour outside of any habitat, and we're going to cross the path over here. We're going to be walking back here. We're going to go back to the same station. So that guest section and all of that is still to be explored by us. This is the Parasaurolophus habitat, and you can— oh, you actually see their bioluminescence a little bit in the shadow. That was cool. Or was it— no, it can't be the vehicle headlights. Those aren't on. But yeah, we saw a little bit of the pink stripes. You can see how, you know, it sort of opens up. It's framed by these trees, and then it opens up into this more, yeah, open airy space with the Parasaurolophus herds and one Dilophosaurus, apparently. And we go around this lake. You can see the guest section. Going around. Oh, little shortcut, little shortcuts. Okay, through this gate, we're gonna cross over some more path. Again, we will also walk by here later. And then we're gonna go into the next habitat. I still hear Dilos, very concerning. This is a mixed habitat. You can see Acrocanthosaurus in the distance. But the Acrocanthosaurus is actually separated from the tour by a rock wall. So it sort of feels like you're driving through their enclosure, but not really. We're actually driving through the Allosaurus enclosure. There's ducks in here. I see Iguanodon. Beautiful. You as well. Gorgeous. Oh, there's the duck. Being a little shy. Oh, I'm a bit stuck. Okay. And then here, what I meant, we have a bit of a hump, and then you can look over the rock wall and you look into the Acrocanthosaurus habitat. And it feels quite natural. Like, obviously you can see that the rocks do form a line, they form a barrier, but it feels more natural than having an actual fence separate you from the animal while still keeping you safe. And obviously what we're pretending here is that there is invisible fencing underground that keeps the animals separated. Now, the reason we had to use all of these rocks, and it is a lot of rocks, so it's no wonder that this park needs all the help it can get with the frame rate, is because in the JP era we don't have the invisible fencing, we only have the JP fencing. So we had to get creative, and we did that in another habitat as well. And yes, it's annoying and it's more work, but at the same time I also feel like those limitations push you to get creative and also put in the effort, because 100%, if I had the invisible fencing, the temptation to just run an invisible fence by here would have probably been irresistible, and I don't think it would have looked as great, because as we all know, the invisible fence isn't actually invisible, and it would have looked a lot more manufactured and modern, and yeah, I think that would have been maybe even futuristic, and that would have been less realistic and less immersive, I think. I think this is quite cool. I think it's an example. Oh, look at the babies! Oh, I love these guys. Oh, I'm probably the only one, aren't I? I really do love them though. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it's an example of limitations actually leading to a better end product. Now, that's not me saying that it doesn't suck that you don't have the option to just use the invisible fencing. Obviously that does suck. I feel like some of those staple things should cross over into all of the eras. Same with the concrete fencing. But you know, rather than getting stuck on that, I really think that you can still make the most of it and make a beautiful park, which I hope I'm showcasing here. Okay, so we're gonna drive through. Honestly, I think we've seen the species in this habitat now. It's quite a long tour. And I added a lot of rocks to sort of, you know, make the massive rock wall make sense, you know? Oh. More ducks. And here we have another view. Initially there was gonna be park, like expansive park down below. Now we're just looking out onto the canopy of the forest. Again, that's really just to save frame rates. I can't fully build a square park, honestly, without sacrificing the frame rate to a degree that I'm uncomfortable with if we still intend to tour a park. You know, you wanna have that run quite smoothly. There there the acros again. Okay, so as we exit through this gate, we are back at the tour building. So we're gonna walk around this little decorative tableau. Oh god, and nearly fall into a fountain. We're gonna exit. Again, that's Dilo habitat. This is the Parasaurolophus habitat. We're gonna cross over the tour track here. You know, kids, road safety first. Look to the left, look to the right, look left again, cross. And this is a guest section that is surrounded by the Parasaurolophus habitat, the Acrocanthosaurus, and the mixed herbivore habitat that goes around that. And it has a bunch of amenities. It has a viewing tower right at the center here, and it also has viewing galleries, which I'm quickly gonna run towards because the acros are in front of it. So they're not putting up the best show, but there they are. So yeah, and you know, there aren't any vehicles right now, but you can see like right behind those rocks is where the vehicles would drive by. Up on that little plateau, vehicles would drive by. So honestly, that's also just, you know, kind of therapeutic, calming to just see the constant cars just drive by. Is that just me? Maybe that's just me. And what you can also just do is have a little drink here, you know, drink your burger. That's for the fans. For the fans of Mini Nooblar, that one. And you can also, from the path itself, look into the habitat. Just, you know, pay attention to that right there. Pay attention to that. Yeah. There's no stupidity barrier here, so, you know, be careful. Wah! Sorry. I had to. Our beautiful chonky acros. Are you? Yes, social. Not the best angle. Smack. Love it. Okay. So yeah, just, you know, amenities, seating section, all that good stuff. We have another viewing gallery over there, but we've seen them now. And what we're gonna do is... Oh, also what I can show you. You know, the path cuts through here, so you can access the tower. What we're gonna do is we're gonna follow this long path, and this goes in between Acro on this side and Para on that side, and then a little further. So as we again cross the tour track, this is now the herbivore, like mixed herbivore habitat on one side and para habitat on the other. We can see one of the paras. Hello. Okay. And moving on to yet another guest section. Honestly, as you might be seeing from the map up in the top right corner, maybe I put them in the top left, maybe in the bottom left. I don't know. Only editing Evo knows. But as you can see from that map, like all of the blue greenish sections are habitats. The white sections are guest areas, gold is the tours, and like the dark green, dark blue is just unused space, which is kind of crazy. How much unused space there is, which we've used for like mountains and stuff like that. But you can see, you know, sometimes it might feel like that's an excessive amount of guest areas, but honestly, when you look at the map, it's really not that bad in relation to the habitats, which was in a very roundabout way the point that I was making. Speaking of roundabout way, we made our way around here, and we're gonna head into sort of the wetlands area, and this is another instance of where we had to use a lot of placeable items to substitute the invisible fencing, because we don't have that here. So what we have is a path cutting through the habitats. So we have one habitat on one side, another on the other, and it's just completely lined with planters. And that was a lot of work, and it did get a little frustrating, but I think the result is really, really lovely. And we have the banners overhead. We have these little expansions on the side where you can have a bit of a rest, And again, what we're pretending is that maybe a few yards out... Oh, we have the Suchomimus over here. There you go, so might as well stand over here. So a few yards out would be invisible fencing to keep everyone safe. But give them like this up close and perhaps too personal experience view of the Suchomimus. That's the worst possible angle to have on their social animation. Did they change their social? I thought their social was... Wait, I thought they did the head bobbing thing. Oh yeah, there you go, there you go. Okay. And on this side, I think we... Yeah, there you go, we have Baryonyx. I'm gonna make haste a bit so we can catch it. Yeah, that's cool. Come on. You have to put a lot of faith in, like, the reliability of invisible fencing and, you know, hope there isn't a power outage or anything like that. But it does create a spectacular view, spared no expense. So yeah, it just winds all the way through to give it a bit of a more natural appearance and maybe sort of blur the lines really between which habitat is which. So obviously the Baryonyx and the Suchomimus are separated from each other, but with how the path winds through, it's not so clear really. We have a little lowered section with a log. Bow to the log. Ah. And now we're gonna move on. Oh, don't stub your toe on a chair. Are the berries gonna come over here? Oh, no, they're doing their own little social. Alright, so there's a bit of a thickening of the path over here, because here, this is where it splits in two different directions. First gonna go here, which leads to another guest area, because of course it does. Surprise appearance of the Baryonyx. I will say, I used the banner and the gate a lot, but just the temptation was just irresistible. On this side, even though we don't see any of them currently, this is where we have Dimetrodon, and of course we have the viewing dome over there that we can hop into from the guest area that we're heading towards. Here you could have, you know, a little sit here, so, you know, pretend that we're sitting down. Oh, we're quite low, but, you know, you could just have your little snack here and watch the Baryonyx. Come on then. You know, wave your hot dog at them. That's nice. It just creates a very different experience from, you know, viewing them from a viewing gallery or if there's a fence between you. And again, just pretend that there is invisible fencing. Just because you don't actually have it doesn't mean you can't play pretend and use your imagination. And, you know, the decorations work the same way anyway. They keep them contained, it's fine. Okay, so another gate, another guest section. I did continue the fencing over here. And some... we have apparently 2 seafood restaurants, because I can't be bothered to customize my buildings. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. It's something I need to work on. I'm well aware. And here we are in what a viewing dome. This is the Baryonyx habitat, but we just saw them on the other side, so they're not around here. And the second one is for the Dimetrodon habitat. Oh, I do kind of see them, but the middle bar is precisely in the way. We'll get another chance to see them. Don't worry. Okay, so another restroom. Those are all over the place, honestly. Picnic tables, and this overlooks a very special section. This is the section that we built that sort of honors, you know, Hammond and the lore, so to speak, or like the background. So we have the Hammond statue, which has its whole moments, very grand. We have Kentrosaurus and we have Attenborough in that section to sort of honor that part of it. It was really fun to build. You guys always have like excellent suggestions during these live streams. By the way, if you're watching this and you haven't joined any live streams yet, or maybe you're new to the channel, I live stream Jurassic World Evolution 2 every single Saturday, and we build parks just like this one. We built this one 90% during a live stream, and then the rest of it I just did in my own time to sort of finish it up and get it ready for this showcase. Alright, moving on. We're gonna rush on back to the intersection. There we go. So that's the direction we came from previously, and now we're gonna head in this direction. To our right is still the Suchomimus habitat. We can see them way in the distance over there. On this side, we have the Dimetrodon, and there's this little area that sort of extends. Oh, and now, oh sure, and now you're close to the viewing dome, huh? I see what you're doing, sneaky. So there we have the Dimetrodon. I'm sure there should, yeah, there you go. There are more. Look at them, little land sharks, lake sharks maybe. There you go. I'm bending the universe to my will. So yeah, you could like get really close to the Dimetrodon as well. And if you so desire, you could have a little sit as well. This is probably my favorite part of the park. In spite of, you know, the many decorations that we had to place, I really think that it just turned out really great. Let me know in a comment down below, at this point, or maybe later on in the tour, what your favorite part of the park is. Oh, sorry. Alright, so we're gonna leave the wetlands area and get to the next guest section. We're really just, you know, hopping from one guest section to the next and, you know, surrounded by all of these habitats. I had to check my map real quick to make sure that I'm not going in the wrong direction. So here we have another zip line that travels over a habitat. I'm just going to show you. We're not going to ride the zip line. But there, oh, we have a bit of a traffic jam going on over there. But here we are. We're looking into the Apatosaurus habitat. There's more in here. I think I see Pyroraptor and some sort of hadrosaur. I can't quite make it out. Oh, we have Dreadnoughtus as well. We have a little sauropod nest right there, and you can see that when we take the tour, the vehicles are going to take us right by it, so we can get a better look. And this habitat also has a oh, I think it's Mudaborosaurus. It also has a bridge crossing the river, and of course the zip line which goes over there. And if we head in this direction, we're gonna get like a really large staircase, like the grandest of grand staircases, honestly. Let's have another look down here. We can't see too much, but you know, we're gonna go down there, so we're gonna see it all. So yeah, here we go. We have the grand staircase. So in like increments, is that what it's called? In increments, we go down from one plateau to the next. Lot of potted plants around here. So yeah, these would be little plateaus, like little resting areas, and these sharp inclines would be stairs that we go down. It would be cool if we had actual stairs, but I think the illusion works well enough as we head down here. One more, then this is a bigger plateau with some amenities at the end. And then we go, oh, that's in between the staircases. Now we're back on ground level. This plaza is sort of split up by this large garden in between. We have a lot of tables and chairs lining it. You know, I would just imagine, you know, there's going to be thousands of people in this park. They all need a place to rest their feet. You know, they just walked down the grandest of grand staircases. Look at that. They came all the way from up there. Now they're down here. They're gonna want to take a seat. So that's why there's like, this is like their reward for coming all the way down. Their seats upstairs as well, as we saw. There's picnic tables up there. We have a tour which goes by the aviary, but also, of course, through the aviary. We're going to be taking that tour. Hello. So we're going to follow along here. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. We have our blue Gigantoraptors with a purple mohawk. Oh, only one of them has a purple mohawk. So if we go over here into this viewing gallery. There, this is one of the habitats that I added on my own time. So this wasn't a habitat that we built during the stream. I think it's one of only 2 that we didn't build during stream. I just had a little bit of space left over that I figured I could fill out with another habitat. And I added the big chickens, because I love the big chickens. I also love little chickens. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cross over the Tor. Look at that. I think that looks quite nice. So yeah, we're going to cross over the Tor track. And this is just a separate guest section that's nestled in between these aviaries on the left and the right. And at the very end, we're going to actually be able to hop onto the Tor. And yeah, we have some path inlays, I suppose. You know, not really path art, but a little bit of path flair, mixing up the colors. We have another John Hammond statue, you know, fountains, all that good stuff. And I really like just how, you know, we're enclosed by the tall structures of the aviaries here. Of course, amenities. We have plenty of those. And as I'm approaching the Tor, I'm realizing it's going in the wrong direction, so I'm gonna have to flip it. We're gonna do all of that through movie magic. All right, here we go. We're gonna head into the first aviary, but only for a little bit, because actually this aviary sort of encompasses a guest section within it, like a little courtyard. So that's where we're gonna go first. And then after that, we're gonna get back into this aviary and actually see what is walking around in here, not flying. So we're gonna exit right here. And now we are in the courtyard that is surrounded all the way around by the structure of the aviary. There is no escape from here. It's just something I like doing to have like an interesting shape to the aviary, but not make it too large. And then you can have secluded areas like this with amenities, of course a seating section, and there's access to the viewing log inside this aviary as well. I think actually 2 viewing logs. What's better than 1? 2. We also have a viewing gallery. Oh, there you go. We have Pyroraptor in here. I will say this was the last habitat that I made. At this point, inspiration was running low, so I decided I'll just chuck the Dominion Pyroraptors in here. Those are fun, right? Let's head into the other viewing log. You can see it right there. That's also pretty cool, actually, that you can just see it from the outside. So we're gonna pop in here. There you go, and you see the cars driving by. I love doing that. I love taking the tour track right by a viewing opportunity. I think that's pretty cool. Only cars to be admired from this one, no Pyroraptors. But as I said, we're gonna be heading back into the tour. We're gonna be continuing driving through this aviary as we move along further into the park. It's honestly a little crazy how big this park is and how long this tour is taking, with the knowledge that I did not use anywhere near all of the space available on the square maps. I truly think that, I don't know, people who request even bigger square maps, do you work for NASA? What kind of supercomputer do you have that you can run all that? Because yeah, I can't fathom actually filling an entire square park. They are so huge, these maps, and the game's optimization just isn't built for it. Okay, well, no, okay, hold on. We have to exit over there, but I first want to see if we can just, I don't know. Oh, yeah. See a Pyroraptor. A singular pyro. There are more in here, I promise. Oh god. Ah, there you go. There's another one. Let's do that. The immersive experience. You know, when your dinosaur clips through a leaf. Alright, so with the Pyroraptor checked off the list, we can continue on. So the area that we're gonna go to now is another area that is only accessible. A little sleepy raptor right there. It's only accessible via this tour. Kind of same with the area that is within the aviary. But yeah, we can only get here if we hop on the tour and we exit in this building over here. So this area plays homage to some of the big names both in universe and outside of the universe, I guess, like in a meta way. So what we have in this secluded area is the Kentrosaurus, Attenborough, and like a huge tribute to John Hammond, like the most exorbitant, elaborate setting for the John Hammond statue, because we built that when the John Hammond statue had just released and we were just trying to make the most of it. Another parked Jeep, and this one I called Crazy Path Lady, because she did some crazy things on this path. And it's funny every single time I load into this map and I get the notification that Crazy Path Lady can't reach its destination. I think that's funny. Okay, so the walkthrough habitat for the Kentrosaurus. I finangled a little bit with the decorations in hopes of keeping the Kentrosaurus actually contained in this walkthrough habitat. As you can see, there's path here, there's even buildings here. Look at him. Oh, hi, baby. Anyway, but yeah, it is successful in keeping the dinosaurs within this enclosure. It's also successful in preventing the guest AI from getting in here, so that's a bit unfortunate. Let's walk around here a little bit before we enter these things. So yeah, people can just walk among the Kentrosaurus, of course, in honor of the... Oh, okay, well, don't get mad at each other. Hey, play nice, kitties. Yeah. So yeah, obviously in honor of the author and Attenborough, even though it's named after David Attenborough and not Richard Attenborough, it still counts, you know, it's the Attenborough name that it's all about. We have some tables and chairs here. I love doing this, they are perfect for that. These are just two individual items, which you are familiar with, but you can perfectly align them like this, so you have a really large table. Okay. So now, speaking of Attenborough, we're actually gonna look into their lagoon. Walk by this sleepy dino. Let's just pick this one. All right. Well, we have an Attenborough indeed within our range of view. So yeah, those entry points give access to the viewing domes that are in the lagoon, and you can only you only get the right to go into the lagoon and see these particular animals if you are brave enough to face the Kentrosaurus. Oh, you are putting up quite a show. Thank you. This is really lovely. Oh, there's another one. Switch camera. Where did you go? Switch camera. Oh, there he is. There's even more. Yeah, we stuffed quite a few in here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. I don't think I would be comfortable standing in one of these, but it is pretty cool. Okay, so with that done, we'll just follow along this path. You can see that the lagoon is raised up, so it sort of provides a backdrop for this exhibit. We don't have to follow the path. We're rebels. We will go through the long grass, okay? Don't tell me what to do. And then we can exit through the little opening. Say bye-bye to Mr. DNA. No, don't take my blood! Don't take my blood! And we're gonna continue along. There's even more shops here. The T-Rex skeleton is really just a recurring feature in this park, but it is pretty cool. Now we're gonna head towards the John Hammond tribute. It's sort of like, yeah, there's this extended bit between the lagoon. I'm failing to explain this, but you will see. So this entire area surrounded by lagoon, the lagoon wall sort of framing it. All of this is just about what is straight ahead, gleaming in bronze, the John Hammond statue. And we really did the most this year by adding a whole bunch of stuff to it. We built this, as most of this park, during the stream, and I think we were all pretty happy with how this turned out. At this point in time, we were all quite disappointed with the John Hammond statue. Like, yeah, it's cool, but also it's tiny. So we really wanted to give it some size, bulk it out, so to speak. And I think we did so successfully. What I do really like doing is actually sort of hide the bronze thing that he is standing on. And yeah, just putting some rocks in front of that worked pretty well. And if you so desire, you could walk around here Even though there's nothing to see. You can hear the Attenborough swimming around. Alright. Well, that's that, really. And so many seating opportunities, you know, for the cult of John Hammond to have a little sit as they prepare for, you know, their satanic rituals to honor him for everything he's done. We're gonna move on from that. Alright, so, speeding along. Oh, you can see up there the guest area where we were earlier. So that's the guest area that is accessible if you walk along the winding path that goes through the wetland habitat. If you go through here, there's boop, a restroom, because when you gotta go into the void. And yeah, that's really all there is to this area. It was just, you know, thematically based around Hammond, Crichton, and Attenborough. Sort of the three big names, both meta and in universe for this franchise. Okay, speeding along. We're gonna hop back into the vehicle. Here we go. So first up is going back into the Pyroraptor aviary. Then it's gonna take us to another aviary. Oh my god, this is gonna be quite a long drive. Honestly, we're gonna be covering some ground here. You know, if we can, if we don't get stuck in it. Oh boy. Okay. If we don't get stuck in a traffic jam. Hold on. Immersive. Activate immersive experience. I'm a little alarmed in here, not gonna lie. A little alarmed. Okay, well. With a face like that, you never know. You never know what they're gonna do. Okay. If we can just go by these. There. So we're gonna leave the aviary, and if you recall from a little bit ago, for me, this was yesterday. This part of the tour, walking around here, was yesterday for me. But for you, it would have only been a couple of minutes ago. So yeah, we were just here. This is the area that leads up to where you actually enter this tour. One of the places, at least. There's another point coming up as well. Oh, can I quickly go around this one? Ooh, yeah, we can. So, yeah, this goes around this aviary. Oh, I think actually we're not gonna go through here until the end of the tour. Yeah. Oh, a little cliffhanger for you. I'm just trying to get around all these slow vehicles. All right. There are the grand steps. And those are some more steps, I suppose. We'll be going there later. Oh my god, this is such a huge park. I can't even... How is it this big? And it's really just using like 50% of the square map. It's ridiculous. So now we are in the habitat that the top of the grand staircase looked into. So, oh, well, there you go. Yeah, hit the brakes. We have Dreadnoughtus in here. Apatosaurus. This is where we had the Mudburasaurus, the Dracorex. It's that habitat. You remember, it wasn't that long ago for you. I've since had a sleep, so I had to think real hard about that. There you go. Oh my god, we need to take this car through the car wash. Sparing no expense. Oh, look at the Dreadnoughtus having a little sleep in front of the nest. No, but that's actually adorable. That's just screaming exhausted mom. Don't honk at the exhausted mom. Are you crazy? Bad things will happen. See, this is what I mean. You've awoken the beast. Oh god. Don't take it out on me, please. I wasn't honking. Oh, let me take you actually to the nest here. Oh. Mommy's angry. Mommy's very angry. But yeah, here's the nest, and we're using the Mediterranean rocks to pretend that those are the eggs. And I think the story was that the that was beautiful. I think the story is that the was that the Apatosaurus are actually the babies. Maybe. I'm going the right way. I was like, wait, what? Lovely. So yeah, this tour just winds through this habitat. It's a really big habitat. There's two bridges, so this is the first one. And you can see that the track leads us to... Oh! Whenever I drive, any vehicle just becomes a bumper car. But yeah, there's the tour vehicle that we're gonna exit, but since we won't be returning to this habitat, I want to show you a little bit more of it. So you can see how it just winds through. We're gonna go along here. There's a Parasaurolophus and a Dracorex. We're spooking them. I like that. Some viewing galleries up here, and there should be another bridge if I recall. Yeah, there you go. There's the other bridge. I thought that was just a nice detail. Let me switch back to that. So you can see that we switched the tour track to concrete to sort of help with that, and we use the electricity pylons as the support bridges. I think that works quite well and makes it, yeah, a little bit more interesting, giving you something to do, something to build. Okay, but now that I've shown you that, I'm actually gonna go back to the building where we're supposed to exit, and then immediately after that, we're gonna hop into another tour. And that tour is gonna take us through the habitat that we saw at the very start. When we entered the park, we overlooked this huge mixed herbivore habitat surrounded by mountain ranges. That is where we're gonna go. That habitat is really only viewable from that path and the tour we're gonna take. Alright, so again, we have to make our way through a bit of a queue. Now, realistically, this would only be if you try to enter the tour from here. If you exit, there would be another path that makes you skip this queue, so you can just exit. Alright, so yeah, before we explore this entire area, as I said, we're going to be taking the next tour, and that's right through here. So we have the red tour and the golden tour. Here we go. We have another queue. And you can already see one of the species being announced that we're going to see, and that's the Brachiosaurus, of course, the classic. Honestly, you know, there's a couple of species that a park doesn't really feel complete without. And in my opinion, those species are the T-Rex. Yes, I am that basic, but I don't think we can be mad at that. And the Brachiosaurus, because the sounds that they make add such an atmosphere to your park. Like, it's absolutely beautiful, their calls. So, first up, to get to the habitat, we just have to drive along this really long track. This cuts through the mountain that surrounds the habitat. We go through the classic gates. Ta-da-da. What you got in there, King Kong? Ta-da-da. Sorry. We have Parasaurolophus. Ankylosaurus is in here. I'm trying to remember what else. Stegosaurus, maybe? Oh, Edmontosaurus. Gallimimus, of course, the Brachys as announced. Look at this view, though. Look at this view. Look at that. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Hold on. Don't drive off the cliff. But yeah, look at that. Okay, well, I just ruined the magic. Aw, they're doing a little cuddle. Cute. But yeah, just this large lake. It's nestled in between a mountain range, you know, as far as we can, of course. And I think it's really lovely. I also think it's the very first thing we built. Oh, don't trample me! Don't trample me! Oh boy. I made it worse. I made it worse. Trying to save myself, I made it worse. Alright, let me crawl up here. Oh boy. It looks like no stego in here. That would have been nice, actually, if I had added the stego. Oh! Driving along the running Gallimimus. I see Bumpy up there. Oh. Bumpy has a friend. Bumpy has many friends. Oh my god, Bumpy. Jesus, what a social butterfly. Oh, we have a Margosaurus in here. That's an interesting choice. Thematically, I probably would have gone for more classic JP species, you know, to fit with the concept of the entire park, limited to Jurassic. But for these live streams, we do generally let the people in chat pick the dinosaurs, and honestly, I can't be mad at this selection. It is a nice selection. I do think we've seen all of the species. The tour, by the way, was in an emergency shutdown. That's why there's no other vehicles driving around. Because there was probably an accident with one of these. One of these. Okay, so now that we've seen that, we're gonna head back out. I took like the... Oh, hold on. That looks quite nice. Let's look at that for a second. I did kind of speed through here. Like, the tour track winds through so much that this would... You know, if you would be sitting in the car driving at normal speed, actually following the track, this would be a really long tour ride. You can see behind the Brachiosaurus, ooh, if I do my job right, you can see the hotels up on the hill that look out into this enclosure that I just really love, again, creating that sort of stuff. And yeah, it just showcases the importance. I just kicked my trash can. He deserved it. It just showcases the importance of elevation within your park, I think. If anything, I hope that that's what you take away from my channel. Add elevation. I know that, you know, when you load into a square map, it's completely flat. Don't leave it flat. Just add mountains, add plateaus, all of that stuff. You have the space available to do that, and I just think it just makes it literally elevates a park to the next level. All right. Well, cringy jokes aside, we're gonna head back to that guest area where we were earlier. They are quite slow, aren't they? You know, no judgment, no judgment. I know that, you know, spared no expense, but apparently there is a speed limit. Rather than taking us through the queue again, I'm just gonna drop us off here. All right. So, there's two directions we can go in. Going up is a bit of a dead end, but that is the first direction that we are gonna go in. And we'll come back here to explore these lower levels. There's a really interesting fake attraction that we created here that I'm really a big fan of, and it's the reason why every time I load into this park I get like 20 ranger can't reach its destination error notifications. So the you know, the long way up is sort of broken up by this little plateau where you can take a rest, you know. Oh, Jesus, that was quite the trek. Oh, you can actually see it from here, the attraction I was talking about. It's like a private VIP Jeep tour, and instead of hopping into a Ford Explorer, you hop into a Jeep with a ranger, and you get like a custom tour through that habitat. And of course, we will be doing that. But first we're gonna go up here for a different kind of tour. I'm gonna sprint up a bit. Here we are, we have another elevated viewpoint. Come on. Oh, this is where I put the Stegosaurus. I was like, surely I put Stegosaurus in this park somewhere, right? Okay, I did. Good job, Evo. Good job. Oh, you can already hear what's in here. The compies. Let's see if we can spot them. They have quite a large habitat, honestly, considering how tiny they are. Let's hope we get lucky. Alright, no luck here. Let's quickly hop on over to the other one. You can also go by the path. Or by the fence. The path by the fence? Wow, words. Difficult. Oh, wait. Is that the only one I built? Oh. I thought for sure I'd made two. Dang it. It's been a while, folks. It's been a while. Oh, no compies. Dang it. But yeah, you can sort of see, you know, the inspiration for the habitat, the beach from the opening of The Lost World. Oh, well, technically we see them. There. Lulu. There. Hopping along. Yeah, you know, grass or rock texture is really the best texture to use in the habitats of these super small species in your parks. Because as you can see, they just disappear into any little tuft of grass. So sand and rock texture is really the way to go with Compy, Spinosaurus, Lysosaurus, Oviraptor, you know, that entire family of tiny creatures in our roster. Oh, look at them all bouncing along! I love that so much. I love how they bounce. Oh! Two of them are, well, four of them are doing a social. Alright. They sound way cuter than they are, and we're all familiar with this. Let's hop into this viewing gallery. I was confused. I thought this one was with the compies. This one actually looks into the Therizinosaurus habitat. And you can see the tour vehicles right there. Of course, we're going to be hopping into that tour. And it cuts in between the Theri habitat and the Dominion Giga habitat. And you can see the massive heavy-duty fencing that surrounds that, because of course the vehicles aren't actually going into those habitats. That would be dangerous. That would be a bad idea. And, you know, Jurassic Park is obviously all about safety. Oh my god, I barely managed to squeeze out that lie. My body was like rejecting it. Let's go into this viewing tower, although again I'm not a fan of the view from the viewing towers. But you can see the habitat with our, you know, VIP Jeep tour. We have the Kentrosaurus. You see Allosaurus in the distance. You can already get a glimpse of the invisible fencing technology, i.e. rocks that we use to separate the carnivores from the herbivores. That looks like it might be Huayangosaurus in there. Maybe something else. That's all for later, though. We are first going to hop into the tour. By the way, there's another seafood restaurant, and you can have a sit right by the tour track. So you can, you know, confirm for yourself that people come back safely after heading into, quote-unquote, into the Theri and Giga habitat. So here we go, through the gates. And, oh god. Let's switch to that again. Oh. Yeah, this might be... Hold on. I want to go around! Let me go around! There you go. So yeah, from this vehicle, you can look into the habitats a little bit. Obviously, like the super heavy... Ooh, there's the Gigas. Yeah, the fence, like, blocks the view, obviously. But you do get glimpses of them, and I feel like, there you go. I feel like, you know, this type of fencing, even though it doesn't allow for the best viewing opportunity, it does create that feeling, you know? It does really sell you that this is a super dangerous dinosaur. And it creates a bit of a thrill, a little bit of danger, a little bit of, should I be here? Should I have really paid for the privilege to be here and possibly, you know, die? You know, that's kind of what we want to evoke here. Because as cool as the invisible fencing technology, i.e. rocks, are, it also sort of diminishes that feeling, I think. Like, yeah, you can get a really good look at the animals, but at the same time, it makes them appear less dangerous. Am I making sense? Probably. Comment down below. Am I making sense? Who knows? I rarely do, so it would be a very special moment for us all. We're just gonna turn into the tour building over here. I'm gonna hop out. And this is yet another little guest section, only accessible via a tour. And it has access to the viewing logs in the Giga and Theri habitat. So this is the Giga habitat. Let's see if we get lucky. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it lucky per se, but maybe not unlucky. But there you go. So it's sort of like this grassy clearing. You can't really see the fencing from here. You know, it really feels like you're in a super remote area, but the fence is like... hold on. Which side is it on? This side, I think. I think it's literally behind that hill. But yeah, it creates this sort of feeling that you're way out into the wilderness. Oh, there you can see a little bit of the back fencing. But yeah, I think that's really nice. You know, it creates a completely different experience of the habitat. And on this side, oh, don't be shy, don't be shy, don't be shy. Hey, big turkey. Yeah, so this one leads into the viewing log, and here we can see. Ooh, that's nice. So from this one, we can obviously see the fencing. We can even, because we are lucky this time around, we saw the Giga, we can see the cars drive by, and if we flip it, we have this lovely view into the Therizinosaurus habitat. Oh, and there are the Therizinosaurus themselves. Having a little scratchy scratch. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. And all of these rocks keep the Therizinosaurus from walking off like the steeper inclines that we've created in this habitat. So it's forcing them to use... Oh, there's even more over there. It's forcing them to use this gentle slope that we've added some dirt to add to the illusion that that's a path that they regularly use, so grass doesn't really grow there. What else? Well, we can hop into this viewing gallery, of course, or viewing tower, I should say. Let's see what we can see. Okay, so this looks into the mixed herbivore habitat, so the Brachys, the Edmontos, all of that. We can see the entry point, so that's where we started a long time ago. I don't know how long it's been for you guys. For me, that was yesterday. But yeah, I think that's kind of fun, you know, to see a bit of the park. Also, we have that tower up there that we're gonna go to, which has... doesn't really look into a habitat, it really just looks out over the park and the environment. Something I like doing. Okay, so to get out of here, we gotta hop back into the tour. So now you just drive the same way back, in between these massive fences. Stuck behind these slowpokes. Oh, that's quite nice, that's quite nice. Get our last look at the theories. Oh, I can't. The camera can't get any closer. Ugh. So we're just looking through two fences. Okay. Let me through! Let me through! The huge claws you see adorning each hand are... Oh, that's too fast for me. Sorry. I was gonna do a dramatic reading here, but alas. Okay. So this is the end of the tour, and as we go around this wall structure, we see the little restaurant where we were earlier, you know. Again, see, you can see it confirmed. People are returning safely. Minimal damage to the vehicle. It's all perfectly safe. That is the priority in our park. In the meantime, failing at my movie magic, we've exited the tour, and now we're gonna go down so we can speed this up. You know, we've been here, we've done this. There. And going down, first floor, ladies' underpants. And even further down, ground level, more ladies' underpants. Look, ladies need a lot of underpants, okay? We like that. I don't know what I'm saying. Look, at this point, this is the second recording and I'm in over half an hour. So, these little windows look into the Acrocanthosaurus habitat. And I think that's super fun. You know, obviously we don't have the concrete fencing available in this era, which does suck, but you can use these wall pieces to create stuff like this, you know, block the view and create quote-unquote windows where you can look into the habitat. And this is something I would highly recommend. I think that this is really nice. And you know, you can obviously create more windows like this and just block them off so that, again, our guests can't get to the high voltage fencing. Alright, so walking along, there's another viewing opportunity into the Metri habitat. Again, close off by these wall pieces, just something I like doing. Surprise appearance of another John Hammond. I feel like he's been stalking us. He followed us from his little tribute area. But this is where the invisible fencing comes into play again, right? So, you know, you have to use your imagination, like, buy into the illusion here that there is actually invisible fencing, but this allows for a much more open view into the habitat. You can see the Metri walking along. And there's viewing galleries up top as well. So yeah, just plenty viewing opportunities, honestly. So now, Next up on the list is this private Jeep tour. So you would go through here, you would use the restroom because, you know, things might get dicey. And VIP doesn't mean you can pee on the seats, okay? And you would go into this quote-unquote bunker to, like, get set up with a tour guide. I don't know, verify your VIP ticket or maybe buy a VIP ticket. And then you can hop into one of these vehicles. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick this one right here. Drive vehicle. I'm going to switch up the camera view. I can't do first-person camera view in the Jeeps. I just get motion sickness. Maybe that's just me. So through the gates into the habitat. And you know, this will be the VIP experience. Instead of following a designated track, you can just tell your VIP tour guide to take me to that Chimaerosaurus right now. I want to see the Chimaerosaurus. The Chimaerosaurus doesn't want to see us, but that's neither here nor there. And yeah, you would just, you know, be able to... Well, not drive freely. The guests wouldn't be driving. The rangers would be driving. But they could take you wherever you want to go in this habitat. They would give you information about the species, like the Dilophosaurus rocking around, which is apparently completely safe, even though we're in an open Jeep. Sort of pretend, you know, it's like a safari. You know, lions don't attack the open vehicles either. Yet. I don't know. I feel like maybe someday they'll figure out that... It's basically like a big biscuit tin with snacks inside. Anyway, moving up, we have our herd of stegos. 4 of them doing a social, showing off for the camera here. Love that. Thank you for your cooperation. The Stegosaurus are paid actors. Don't worry, after the strike, we pay them fairly. And here, separated by a river and a line of... Would you shush? I'm trying to do a VIP tour here. As I was saying, separated by a river and a line of rocks, i.e. our invisible fencing, we can look into the Allosaurus. Oh boy, oh Jesus. Oh, stay calm. Maybe the Allosaurans aren't the most dangerous things. Maybe we shouldn't be protected from the Allos, but from the Stegos. Oh, there are the Allos. There you go. I was just gonna say, are there gonna be a no-show? But they're back there. So yeah, the Allosaurus can't cross this river, but you can still get a pretty decent view at them. They're a little bit at the back right now, but you know, you see, yeah, they're there. There is empirical evidence that there are Allosaurus here. And at the very end, there's a little abandoned campsite that you can drive through. You know, just a little bit of storytelling within our habitat. I think that's pretty cool. We have our first glimpse at the guest section that we're gonna head towards. I use these plants a lot throughout this park. Like a lot. I like them. Good plants, good plants. We have a little restroom hidden away here as well. Just like a little Easter egg. Yeah, this will be the VIP tour. This is like just a fake attraction that I've come up with. And I think it works really well. Now again, there's 2 things you have to be mindful of. The first thing is you have to accept that every time you load into a map, you're gonna get an error notification for every single Jeep that you've parked. By the way, if you don't know how to do the parked Jeep trick, I've done a short on that. I will link it in the description box, so you can check that out. But yeah, if you do that trick, just keep in mind, every single time you load into the map, you're gonna get error notifications for every single vehicle. And also, don't do too many vehicles, because I've heard from other people... I'm just gonna park it right there. I've heard from other people who went up as high as 30 parked cars, as they were creating a parking lot kind of aesthetic, that their game just kept on crashing. So yeah, don't go overboard with it. I think I literally have about 20 of them, and my park's doing fine. So, you know, I guess somewhere between 20 and 30. So, walking along, again, we're using the wall pieces to hide the view into the Metri habitat in the absence of the concrete fencing that we would have in another era, or if you were using the all buildings option, which is only available on PC and newer consoles. Honestly, it's a testament of, I think, poor communication on Frontier's part that 2 years down the line, over 2 years down the line, I still get people asking how I have certain items either in one save file, or some people don't even realize that they can change the era. You know, they play on an older console. Let me hop in there as I do my little soapbox speech. Oh, we can see the Metry. That's nice. So yeah, they buy the game. They load into a sandbox, and they don't even realize that they have the option to switch to a different building era. So they just hop into Jurassic World by default every single time, and they don't even realize some of the decorations that are locked in other eras. And of course, what many people also don't know is that on older consoles you don't have the all buildings option, which is also causing a lot of confusion. And yeah, it's just interesting in a negative way that I still get these questions like at least once a week. And I feel like I'm underestimating it when I say that. But anyway, with that done, if you happen to be watching and you still weren't informed, if you play the game on an older console, that is Xbox One or PS4, you don't have the all buildings, all foliage option that PC players and new console players do. And I think it's just a measure to protect the performance of your game, because you're running it on an older system. Anyway, was that really necessary to put that into this video? You might say no, but again, I keep getting these comments, so I feel like it's almost my duty to sort of sneak it in there sometimes. We're gonna cross the bridge, and this is where we have, in this habitat, the Utahraptors. There. So what we did for this viewing area is we sort of created like a teeny tiny sliver of abandoned park. So that's why there's pathing, chairs, the wall here. And the joke here is that, ooh, you thought the Velociraptors were big and scary? Well, the Utahraptors are even bigger, and in spite of being feathered, even scarier. I think, at least. I love Utahraptors. I hope they come into the new movie. That would be awesome. Anyway, oh my god, what is up with all of these tangents? Unfortunately, no Utahraptors walking around in this area currently, but hopefully we can see them from the other viewing opportunities. So this is just a long path, and you can see that there's like this separate right side of the path closed off by the wall pieces that take you by the fence of the Utahraptor habitat. We've double fenced it because they are so dangerous, and in this case we'll be pretending that the first fencing isn't actually electrified, because, you know, there's no stupidity barrier, so people could just touch this. We used the Velociraptor sign because we don't have a Utahraptor sign. A little Easter egg restroom. Unfortunately, still no Utahraptors. And you can exit these like little... They're almost like viewing areas, I suppose. They're just off the main path. Oh, you do hear them. And yeah, you can just hop into those areas and wait for the Utahraptors to walk by. And on this side, these viewing galleries look into... There you go, the habitat with our Parasaurolophus, our Dreadnoughtus, our Apatosaurus, Dracorex, the bridges that we talked about. So there you go. And we're gonna cross back over to the Utah half. Oh, there, just caught the tail end of one of them. So yeah, we've created like 3. Oh, there's one. Oh god, Jesus, sorry. There's one over there as well. So we've created 3 tableaus, so to speak, within this habitat. The viewing gallery looks out into a section of abandoned park. The previous path viewing looked out at the sign and the restroom, and this one looks at the bunker and the raptor paddock. So we've created 3 different scenes, and we're directing how people can look into the habitat. I pretty much never build habitats that are just completely open with a 360-degree view from either viewing galleries or guest path. I always choose and direct how and where guests can look into a habitat, and then I optimize that area of the habitat, you know, create like an interesting scene or do my bestest with the terrain tools and the foliage and all of that stuff. Okay, well, with all that being said, we have another one of the murals, and now we're gonna go down. And you can see the aviary over there, you can see the tour. So this might, you know, jog your memory and remind you of where we are, of course. I have been showing you the maps in the corner as well. If you like the maps in the corner, please let me know. They aren't difficult to make, it's just a bit of a hassle. And if you want to know how I make them, it's literally just that I take 2 screenshots from the map view, splice those together in Photoshop, and then just draw the map on top. Like I'm just tracing like the perimeters of the habitats, the guest areas, all of that stuff. So, oh, there you go. There, I was looking for the building. There's the building. I was just gonna say, wait, how do we get into into that aviary? But here we go. Drive there. Switch that up again. So now we're gonna go into this aviary. This one actually does have flying reptiles. Ooh, opportunity to sneak around these slow guys. Here we go. So we have. Ooh, sorry, hiccup. Tapejara? Am I seeing something? No, there's just a whole lot of Tapejara. And you can see that we went with a desert biome within this aviary. Wow, there's really a lot of Tapejara in here. Oh my god. We've also created a little scene, you know, another abandoned little campsite. Using differences in elevation, even within the aviary, you know, the options are limited. Oh, we do have another flying reptile, Parasaurolophus. I love that he just like, hold on. I love that he just chose to chill on that rock, like right by the tour. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, even within the aviary, with limited use of the terrain tools, we're still creating differences in elevation. So you can play around with the viewpoints from your tour and from viewing galleries that you might connect. This is nice, like, it feels a little overpopulated maybe, but it is nice just how many of them are flying around. And down below, another abandoned campsite. We have our Rex skeleton. I think the hope was that they would sit on the Rex skeleton. They sit on the Spinosaurus skeleton, but I haven't seen them sit on the Rex skeleton, unfortunately. And there, you just exit. I really love using the aviaries as like mini biomes. I think it works a little bit better with the Jurassic World biome because it's a glass structure, so that's more realistic for creating a different type of humidity and temperature inside. But even with the mesh aviaries, I think it still works. And I think it's a nice opportunity to use the terrain tools differently. We are back in the area that is sandwiched between the 2 aviaries. So that's the Pyroraptor aviary right there. You can see the viewing log that we were in a while ago. We have another jump scare Hammond right here. Woo. And we're just gonna backtrack a little bit. So this is where we leave this area. Look at the blue chicken! I love the blue chicken. Alright. So yeah, we've been here. This is the guest section at the bottom of the grand staircase. If we go up here, a couple of amenities. And we're gonna go back up the grandest of grand staircases right here. It's gonna be quite a trick, you know, we're gonna be feeling it in our calves, but we'll feel accomplished by the time we reach the top, and maybe a little out of breath. Okay, well, the terrain work on that one wasn't perfect. It's a bit of a lopsided staircase, a bit of a Willy Wonka staircase going on. Or maybe like a Dali painting kind of staircase. Anyway, so we're gonna go all the way up to the top, and we have quite a bit of climbing to do, because what we're gonna do now is we're gonna head towards that viewing tower that is on the highest elevation in the park. And we're gonna see what we can see from there. So what we do, you can see that this is the gate that leads into the wetlands habitat, you know, with the Suchomimus, Baryonyx, Dimetrodon. But there's a path tucked behind this restroom. And this wasn't here originally, as I first built the park with you guys during the live streams. There was no path back here, but as I was finishing up, I realized that certain areas were becoming too much of a dead end. So that is why I created this sort of alley connecting these two areas with each other directly. So not too much backtracking would be necessary for us, but more importantly, you know, in real life, your guests, to explore the entirety of your park. And if we just rush a little bit, because they were here. Yeah. We get another chance to view the Suchomimus. So, teeny tiny guest section, seating opportunity, and an amenity building. Over there are the hotels, which look out into the mixed herbivore habitat that is behind there. And up here is where we go to that viewing tower. So I'm just gonna run up. Be running up that road, be running up that hill. Speed! Oh yeah. And here we are. Very appropriately, there are seating opportunities here, so you can have a bit of a rest. You can see that even from the path, you have quite a nice view of the park. Like, obviously, this is not the best way to view the dinosaurs, but I think this would be an absolutely lovely spot to just, like, have a bit of a rest, you know? This is where, you know, if you pack a lunch, being frugal and not spending money on overpriced burgers, you know, you would pack a lunch and you would come up here and have a little drink. I think that's super, super nice. And we have the viewing tower as well, which is here. Also to ensure that our guests would use this path. I just really don't like the view from this. Switch camera. Oh, we do get a pretty decent view into that habitat, you know, with the Dreadnoughtus. Here we look down at the guest section. We have the big lake of the mixed herbivore habitat. It's pretty decent. It's just, you know, it's a downside that we have this mesh in front of it. Yeah, I love this sort of stuff. I love this sort of stuff. If I went to a park, I would want these types of views as well. I wouldn't just want the up-close encounters with the dinosaurs. I'd also want to just see the park that I've been walking around in. Okay, so now we're gonna go all the way back down, which is easier than going back up. You know, just imagine us rolling down the hill. Whee! Oh my god, imagine having rollerblades on or being on a skateboard. Oh man, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Anyway, now we're gonna go up here, and again, this is where the hotels are. Can you hop into them to just see the view? Yeah, there you go. Enter building view. So there, you know, from your hotel balcony or maybe the hotel restaurant, you can look out down into that habitat. I think that's nice. I think that's nice. I like that sort of stuff. Oh, hello, sir. Alright, well, this view isn't the greatest. Neither is this one. Neither is this one. Neither is this one. This is where the money is at. Look at that. Oh, let me do that. Immersive experience activated. Yeah, I like it. Ta-da! And there's just like 3 or 4, I think 4 hotels on this path. And the path itself takes us back. You know, it's also sort of a connective route between, you know, 2 remote areas of the park. I will show you the map in the top corner and also give you some directions. So obviously we're at the Parasaurolophus habitat. You can see the gate over there that leads into the wetlands area. And this right here is the queue that leads up to the helicopter pad that would take you to that very remote section with the T-Rex viewing opportunities, the Chungkingosaurus, where we were way at the start of the tour. Here's the Aviary, so we're approaching the entrance of the park. But there's even more to explore. It's honestly insane. I'm baffled at the size of this park. I'm confused by the size of this park, honestly. How is this is going to be the longest tour I've ever done. How is that possible? It's going to be longer than Mini Nublar. How? I'm just flabbergasted. Anyway, so we have the visitor center. This is where it all began. And that's the direction we went in. You know, the Dilophosaurus you can hear. But we can also go in this direction, and this path curves around the Minmi habitat. You can just see them galloping along. All these Minmi are named after foods, so there's like broccoli and spinach or avocado. I don't quite remember, but I do know they're all named after food. And we have the habitats with the trikes, the tour going through. And again, you can see what I did here. Now, probably if I had the all buildings option, I would have used concrete fencing to block the view. But honestly, this is way nicer. Just create like little planted areas to block the view with rocks and bushes and all of that stuff. And then sometimes create a little opening that allows you to catch a glimpse into the habitat. I love that sort of stuff. So it's another example of how a limitation, the absence of the concrete fencing, led to something really nice, because I think this looks lovely. And, you know, being lazy, the temptation probably would have been to just use concrete fencing and occasionally make a window with the wire fencing. This is our last look into the Minmi habitat, by the way. So the Minmi habitat curves around the back of the visitor center. There's the helipad entry point, and the path curves around that as well. And it takes us to the last guest section and the last tour of this park. And that is the tour of the free-flying reptiles. And there's a funny story behind this tour. It's gonna require some movie magic, not too much, but I will talk about that as we actually get into the tour. I just wanted to show you the guest section itself. So many seafood restaurants. So, seafood with hot chocolate. Now that's a combo. It's a good thing there's also plenty of restrooms around. Anyway, this is the tour that takes us through the free flying reptiles area environment in our parks. In our park, excuse me. And there's a story. Here we go. We are totally still in the same save file, heading towards the flea frying reptile habitat. Okay, so the story behind this, we actually aren't still in the same save file. This is a separate save file. Editing Evo here. I have to step in because the whole explanation just became a whole lot of rambling. But as the car drives through the aviary that our flying reptiles escaped from and then into the free roam habitat, let me tell you what happened. We were going to build this entire area, the aviary, the habitat, in the actual park. Obviously, as you do, during one of our weekly Jurassic World Evolution 2 live streams. At this point though, I had early access to content from a new DLC and update, and I'd been making videos on that. The afternoon before the stream, I quickly hopped into the park save file and made an aviary and a kets to take some pictures for the live stream thumbnail. And then I exited the game and switched it back to the public version so that no new content could be seen during the stream. It's similar to switching between the Isle Legacy and the Isle of Riemann. And then 2 minutes before the live stream is scheduled to start, I boot up the game, I load into the park, and I get an error saying that there is content in the save file that is currently not available. So the file cannot be opened. Even though I didn't use any of the new content that I had uninstalled to take the thumbnail pictures, the damage was done. Something in the code was different between the public version and the early access version, and I just couldn't load in. After panicking for a minute, I decided that the only thing I could do was just load into an empty tropical square map and build the free flying reptile habitat in the same corner that I had reserved in the actual park. And that's what we did. We built all of this in an otherwise completely empty save file, and on the flip side, the actual park has an empty corner that was reserved for all of this. Initially, the plan was that I would rebuild this entire area in the official park save file, the completed park save file, but that felt so unnecessary to rebuild the whole thing, because it's a huge area. We spent 2 hours, you know, building this, decorating this, populating it, so it just felt silly to rebuild it entirely when we could just stitch this tour onto the park tour itself. So as I've been rambling, telling that story, telling it quite poorly, I must admit, we have arrived at the free flying, I really struggle with that, the free flying reptile environment or habitat, so to speak. So the story, like the, you know, it's a theme park, so the illusion that is created here is the aviary that we drove through at the start has been destroyed, and all of the flying reptiles have escaped, and they're now living in this habitat. And what is actually going on is they didn't really escape. We have the, God, what's it called? What's the system called from Dominion that prevents the flying reptiles from escaping? I can't think of it right now. That's so dumb. Anyway, that system is in place here to keep the flying reptiles in this habitat and prevent them from entering the rest of the park. When in reality, you can totally do this in the game. Just make sure that there's enough distance between your flying reptiles and the rest of your park. And the key to doing that is making sure that their water, food, and perches are very far away to the nearest water, food, and perches. So there's like an entire area up there where there are no rocks, no water, all of that stuff. And that's just going to be good enough to prevent your flying reptiles from coming over, because they're really programmed. Look at the cats flying overhead. They're really programmed to stick close to especially their perches, but you know, their water and food as well. They don't wander all that far. So even though, again, totally owning up to it, this is an illusion. We're not actually still in the Jurassic Park only park. But you can actually do this and have it be successful and not constantly deal with your flying reptiles entering your park. One of them might wander over on occasion if the distance isn't great enough, but it really shouldn't be much of an issue. I went the wrong way. Hold on, let me go the other way and actually follow the tour track. And I think this is just really cool, because, you know, the flying reptiles, especially the cats that is flying overhead right now, just look super cramped and awkward in the aviaries. As I'm recording this video, the next update and DLC still haven't been announced. I also don't know what it is yet. No early access has been given. We actually don't get, like, early information. We don't know anything before you guys know anything. So I don't know what the upcoming DLC and free update is gonna be. But I do hope that it is a flying reptile DLC with an appropriate free update to make them walk. I don't particularly want more flying reptile species, but I do really want them to have the ability to walk. I think that's so important to make our aviaries look better, because currently, you know, free flying is, I think, the way to go to make them look right. So, the tour takes us through another abandoned little campsite. Oh, that cat's coming over right now. It's cool. Okay, the blocking isn't great. Oh, God. It's gonna sit on that perch right there. Yeah, there you go. Lovely. So yeah, I really just hope for a Flying Reptiles DLC so we can get walking animations into the game. I would hope that they would use that opportunity to do that. But in the meantime, or if they aren't going to do that, this is really awesome, I think. You have to reserve a really big corner of your park to achieve this. But as I've been saying during this entire tour, I really don't think you can fill an entire square map anyway. I certainly don't. And it's still an absolutely massive park, so you can totally reserve a corner to do something like this. And with that being said, with that final tangent to go on, that completes our tour. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this tour. There's going to be a bit of a cinematic showcase at the end here as well. But I really hope that you enjoyed seeing the park. I hope that it has given you some inspiration for your own builds. And I hope that it has proven to you that even with the limitation of having only one building area, you can still make something really awesome and really detailed. Now, what you might think is, you know, I cheated a little bit. On older consoles, not only do you not have all buildings, you also don't have all foliage. And clearly, I have been using all foliage types in this build. So, if you want to see me build a park like an actual old generation console gamer, so one building area and only one foliage type, let me know in a comment down below, and we'll see if enough of you guys would be down to see something like that, and I will make it happen. For now, that is the end here. This is me signing out. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy this final showcase.
Bye.